month after the stay-at-home order went into effect, the state is reopening and some are getting back to business as usual. But other businesses say the state is moving too fast. Plus, why veterans' homes across the state say they're glad they closed their doors to visitors early. KOMU 8 News First at 5 starts now.
Coverage you can count on. KOMU 8 News starts now.
Missouri is taking its first step toward going back to business as usual tomorrow. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Emily Spain. Thanks for joining us today. Phase 1 of reopening Missouri starts tomorrow, and previously non-essential stores can now reopen. You can eat inside restaurants again, and places of worship can hold services again. But in all of those cases, you must continue to social distance, staying at least 6 feet apart. Phase 1 of the recovery plan also includes expanding testing for COVID-19 and getting more protective equipment for first responders across the state. The state order says the local governments still have the authority to extend their own orders if they deem it necessary. As businesses lift that stay-at-home order, people are starting to ease back toward business as usual, but not everyone is ready for that. The owner of the station in Fulton says she's only opening the outside portion of her business. She also decided to no longer sell food even after the pandemic is over. Her restaurant will now only serve drinks. The mom and pop shop is taking extra precautions to keep its customers and family safe.
We do have some at-risk family that we have some concerns with our own ability to transmit, and with so much unknown still and questions going back and forth with the safety and statistics, we just figured that as more information comes in, we will take that information as it comes in and kind of decide on our own merits.
The owners say they will still take these precautions for the foreseeable future. We also talked to people in Boone County today about their reactions to the state beginning to reopen tomorrow. Some people were excited while others were more cautious.
I am concerned about things opening up. I'm not sure I'm ready to open up to what's going to be open.
There's going to be phases, right, going into opening up, but I think I'm ready for it. I think I'm ready for people to get back to work.
Yeah, I'm pretty ready to be able to go out and have dinner at a restaurant and have more freedom, but also to remember to make sure everyone stays safe and everything.
We also asked you what you thought about the reopening on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and you can join that conversation at facebook.com/KOMU8. Across the state, Missouri has announced more than 200 new cases of COVID-19 Sunday. That brings the state total now to 8,386 cases. The death toll from the coronavirus now sits at 352 in our state. Here in mid-Missouri, Boone County has not reported any new cases of COVID-19, leaving the total number of active cases at 5. Cole County is reporting 2 active cases, and Callaway is reporting a total of 5 active cases. Morgan County reported 1 new case of COVID-19, bringing the total there to 3 active cases. Saline County still has the most in mid-Missouri, reporting 104 active cases. For the latest numbers, county by county, we do have this interactive map for you on our website, KOMU.com. You just hover over the county and you want to see, and those numbers will pop up for you. Kenton.
Well, Emily, it's been a warm couple days, but especially yesterday was very warm, and look at how much cooler we are now. We're 16 degrees colder than this time yesterday in Columbia, 20 degrees colder over in St. Louis. That's giving us current temperatures still around the 70-degree mark here in central Missouri, 70 in Columbia, 73 in Jefferson City, Lake of the Ozarks in the lower 70s also. And if we look at now hour by hour overnight, you can see we have a lot of clear sky until we get towards sunrise tomorrow morning. Clouds start to increase. Could get around a midday thunderstorm here for the Lake of the Ozark region. Then we're drier until the end of the afternoon when more showers and thunderstorms are expected. This is going to be, again, late afternoon and into the evening hours. And we could even have some stronger wind gusts and some large hail with some of these storms tomorrow. I'll dig into this a little deeper and we'll look ahead to the next 8 days coming up.
Okay, thanks, Kenton. As federal social distancing guidelines expire, White House health officials are sounding the alarm about Americans getting too close to each other. Over 30 states have relaxed their stay-at-home orders, but medical experts fear that will lead to a new surge in COVID-19 cases. NBC's Jennifer Johnson reports from Washington.
From crowded beaches to reopened malls to protests across the country, Americans standing shoulder to shoulder without protective masks. White House health officials frustrated so many, like here in Michigan, are already abandoning social distancing rules.
It's devastatingly worrisome to me personally, because if they go home and infect their grandmother or their grandfather, they will feel guilty for the rest of our lives.
But some governors say they can't force residents to play by the rules. Ohio's leader reversed his decision, requiring shoppers to wear masks.
People were not going to accept the government telling them what to do.
With over 30 states relaxing or lifting stay-at-home orders, health experts fear a new surge in COVID-19 cases.
If we stop social distancing altogether tomorrow, we would recreate the conditions that existed in the country in February, March.
Meanwhile, the Trump administration says there's, quote, enormous evidence the outbreak began in a Wuhan lab and blames China's misinformation for America's pandemic.
We're going to hold those responsible accountable, and we'll do so on a timeline that is our own.
President Trump has returned to the White House after spending a working weekend at Camp David. His focus now, Operation Warp Speed, getting a vaccine to prevent COVID-19 as quickly as possible. Jennifer Johnson, NBC News, Washington.
The World Health Organization says evidence points to the novel coronavirus originating in bats. The WHO's COVID-19 technical lead says the virus that causes COVID-19's genetic sequences are of, quote, natural origin. She says the organization has compared the virus to other coronaviruses and their genetic sequences.
Compared to other coronavirus sequences that are available, this is of a natural origin. And it originally comes from bats because the coronaviruses come from bats.
And this morning, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that there is evidence of the coronavirus starting in a lab in Wuhan. In an interview on ABC's This Week, Pompeo said the State Department has evidence it started in a lab.
There's enormous evidence that that's where this began. We've said from the beginning that this was a virus that originated in Wuhan, China.
And when asked if he believes the coronavirus was man-made or genetically altered, he went back and forth between saying it was and it wasn't. The UK announced a decrease in the number of new coronavirus cases, or deaths rather, in the last 24 hours. The country recorded 315 deaths on Sunday, bringing the death toll up to a total of 28,446. UK guidelines require the number of cases to keep falling before it can ease restrictions. Officials say the country is now, quote, past the peak of deaths, but that a decline must be sustained before they can ease restrictions. Officials in Stillwater, Oklahoma are rolling back face mask requirements after reported threats of violence. Officials issued an emergency proclamation requiring residents to wear masks in businesses and other public establishments starting Friday. City officials retracted that requirement after community members started threatening local workers, including one threat with a gun. City officials are still encouraged to wear a face mask in public, and businesses can still enforce their own mask policies. Coming up, a man was caught camping out in a place that might surprise you. Plus, people say they're grateful Missouri's veterans' homes closed earlier than others.
And we are watching some clear skies tonight, but we have more showers and thunderstorms on the way for tomorrow. I'll track that hour by hour and look ahead to the week ahead coming up.
We're taking a live look over the Columbia Regional Airport on your sunny Sunday. Your time is 5:08. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5, coverage you can count on.